Hey everybody, this is Jose Blasco. How are you everyone? We are about to start around 20 seconds. Let's use this time for a sound check, please. Please go ahead and confirm that you hear my voice. That would confirm that all is good with technology, sound, and so on. And we are ready to start. It's almost the top of the hour, so please give me a confirmation. It just reached the top of the hour. Very good. Okay, wonderful. Thank you for confirming that the sound is correct. Very nice to see you all. How are you, my friends? Very, very nice. So we are about to start the session here. Let me turn on the camera as well. Here we go. I'll put myself in the little corner so you get to see everything on the screen. How are you, everyone? Good to see you. Today is January 27, 2020. My name is Jose Blasco. I will be your guide. And today we are getting together so we identify trading opportunities of a short duration. We're going to be looking at short-term trades. We're going to be performing intraday trading style. That's the plan. Okay. Before we start, have a quick disclaimer. The following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through a demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive on using our products. And this is the disclaimer. And therefore, from there, we jump into the session and we are ready to get organized and begin the session today, now that the session has been officially introduced. Let me take a look at questions or comments in the chat box. Yep, up to this point, it's all hellos and okay, so it's wonderful, and it's very nice to see you all, guys. Very, very, very nice. I mean, we just concluded a Forex class last week, so we have a new trader joining us in the group as well out of the class, and it's wonderful to see the group growing, apart from having lots of fun last week going over the process and the methods in depth. Okay, and by the way, join me to welcome the new members of the group in the session, because we're going to be doing some teamwork together, isn't it? Thank you so much. Okay, so now, by the way, let me explain what we're gonna do here. Okay, especially since today we got, a collection of some of you that are new to the sessions, or you may have been here before, but without understanding the full framework of the methodology that we use. And therefore, I would like to introduce you to a few things. First, on the left, we have a futures tab. Okay, so what we have there is futures markets, and we are looking at low time frames when it comes to climates. We are looking at climates of 15 minutes, climates of 60 minutes, and the higher we go, it's climates of 240. Okay, so it's all obviously intraday trading. but notice we go even lower. That like going back to what I was commenting about last week's class, the lowest we went last week in the class was 60 minutes. Where here with the futures markets we are also looking at 15. Okay, now in the middle, what do we have? We have the majors. Okay, and in the majors we can afford to go as low as 60 minutes. And then we will also take a look at the 240 minutes looking for opportunities. And then with the minors, you can certainly drop to 60 minutes. It would not be a mistake, okay? But given the fact that liquidity is less and there are so many currency pairs, so it seems to be quite ideal to have a starting point at 240 minutes, okay? Therefore, the markets that are less liquid could be lean hogs or it could be the minors, would be traded on the 60-minute time frame. The ones that are a little more liquid, but not the most liquid in the world, would be 60-minute time frame on the future side. On the majors, which are very liquid, but it's a decentralized market, so we'll go for 60 as well. And then for the futures markets that are very liquid and centralized, then we'll drop to 15. You can certainly have a different list compared to mine, and it would not be wrong. But having said that, there is a reason why my list is structured in this way, which I just explained, and hopefully it makes sense. Okay. Cool. Okay. So now a few more things. What are we going to do now? We're going to be using this red screen where what we're actually running here is AutoClimate. If you notice on the top, the name of the app that is running as we speak is AutoClimate, running for all those markets. Okay. And so what's happening here? Well, it's like you had, like maybe 40 charts or something like that open at the same time. Looking at them all together, and of course they don't fit on a computer screen, or even if you had multiple screens, you probably cannot fit 40 charts. Okay, so what are we doing? We are running AutoClimate in the red screen format, because the red screen format is giving us visual alerts in the format of those golden lights that just flash, for example, in NASDAQ and gold. Okay, so that tells you that we are near a potential entry in a down climate when it's red, in an up climate when it's blue. When we have gray, it means it's not confirmed, so we are looking for colors instead of gray. And then we have the word sensible, which means that the climate is not overextended yet when it comes to statistics, the stats of the climate. When it comes to the sustainability stats, we are still in a good place. Okay, so what are we going to do then? Well, we're going to start looking at the NASDAQ, okay, because basically using red screen in this way is a tool to save us time, okay? And so what do we have? We're going to be looking at NQ, okay, which is the NASDAQ, and we're going to be planning on the first trade. We'll see if there is an opportunity to be executed or not. NQ and then gold as well. Okay, got it. Okay, so NQ. So what do we have? We have a down climate, okay, 2 candles out of 5, so certainly good time to get in. Moving average currently is around 8978.5, and 8978.5. It's certainly falling inside this UFO right here. No UFO in the middle, and also that UFO is also lining up very well with 8978.5. So we have 2 UFOs lining up with the EMA. So we have the climate, we have the direct force and the indirect force, and therefore basically we have a green light to go ahead and plan the trade. Okay, so step 1, check the climate. The climate is valid. So step 2, we go for the target. Okay, looking at the target would be set using the green UFO on the common time frame, which is 15, and that would be 8960. Okay, so for the NQ 8960, that would be the location for the target, isn't it? And by the way, if at any moment in time I go a little too fast, you guys please let me know. Okay, good. So now entry. The bottom part of this UFO is 8975.5. You can see that right here. Okay. That UFO is looking like it's going to be probably just a little lower because the inner circle is 75. So the bottom part is probably a little lower. So let's see. Oh, price is actually entering already. So It's 89.73. Okay, so we got 73 to 80. That would be the tradable area, and it's time to place an order here. Did I say? I said 73. Okay, so I'm just gonna place an order at 73. Of course, price is above. Okay, so I'm gonna get filled immediately. Okay. Okay, and we're gonna move the buy stop above. The buy stop needs to be 80.25, 8980.25. Okay, that's it. We're in. So I'm gonna be looking at 255 for my safety target. Right there. That's the location for the safety target. Okay, and my final target we just said a minute ago was going to be 8960, which is right there. Okay, so we have it. You can see it on the screen. Okay, this is a trade I had to rush a little bit into it, in the sense that we were inside of a UFO right here. That UFO is gone, which is actually not a very good sign, but good news is that we still got the UFO on the left. Okay, but in any case, we entered at that particular point. We got filled at 72, as you can see. Okay, we got filled at 72, and our stop is located at 78.5. Oh, wow, I think I just made a little mistake there. Yes, I should have my stop at 78.25, right? No, actually that's not correct. 80.25. That's the location for the stop. I didn't place my stop in the right location, guys. I'm sorry about that. Made a mistake. So 325, okay, that would be the location for the safety target. Okay, so 325. Okay, so yeah, we've already reached the safety target. That was not the right one. So hey, I've just messed up a little bit the trade, even though we just collected some profits here, which is nice to have. But at the same time, I did mess the trade a little bit here. Let me move the stop at the right location, and then I will explain what is it that I did wrong, so you understand. Because basically I was just rushing a little bit. So 76.25, 76.25. This is gonna be the location for the stop right now. Okay. A new UFO just formed, and since the UFO just formed, we can see it both on the 2-minute time frame as well on the tick time frame. So remember, we have a trailing stop rule based on new UFOs that are formed, and therefore 82.5 is the new location for the stop. We already took profits earlier at it was, so we shorted at, we covered at 65.75. Okay, we covered at 65.75, which is the blue arrow down here. Okay, so in other words, the profit we collected is more than the risk we still have on the table at 82.5, and therefore this trade is going to be profitable no matter what. Even though really, when it comes to the execution, I made 2 mistakes in a row. Mistake number 1 is that I placed the stop at 78.5, where I thought it was 80.25. So that was a mistake I made. I'm not sure how did that happen, but that's what happened. And therefore, my second mistake was not to have the safety target in the right location, because the safety target basically goes at the same distance as the stop. And since I got the stop in the wrong location, then I got as well the how do you call it, the safety target in the wrong location as well. Okay. Anyway, in the end, all good. I'm not sure if any of you had the opportunity to enter the trade the way I did, because of course it was so quick that unless you were ready already, probably you were not able to do it. But anyway, so we are in. Okay, and at least we're gonna be watching this trade from a trade management purpose. Okay, and the trade management purpose right now is, if we were to surpass our blue arrow. Okay, our blue arrow was 65.75. The entry was 72. So we are talking about 6 points, 25. So if we drop all the way to, let's say, 71, okay, which 70, this is 65, sorry, 61. If we drop all the way to 61 and there is no UFO form, then we will be moving our stop to where the blue arrow is. Okay, we'll do the too far too fast technique. Okay, so if we drop, if this keeps dropping all the way to around 61, we will move the stop at this location. Okay, this is what we're gonna do based on the rule. If any UFO form, then we'll trail stop the way we did a minute ago. Okay, so this trade is running and we are now in trade management mode, and therefore I want to go ahead and look at gold. That seemed to be another opportunity that could be there could be an opportunity. Okay, so let me load gold on my other computer screen, and I'm bringing it to the main screen right now. Okay, so let me come here. So I'm looking at metals. Notice how I'm looking at bar charts just to confirm that I'm going to be using the right gold symbol. Okay, so GC. Okay, is the G symbol. Okay, let me double check that. Yes, the one with the highest liquidity is the G. Okay, so we should be using the G symbol for gold. And what I'm going to do is open the gold workspace and make sure I got the G symbol on the chart, and then I would then be ready to prepare a trade on gold. Okay, so do I have the G? Yes, I do have the G. This is very important. Okay, and you want to get into this very healthy habit of double checking every time. Okay, so what do we have? We have, when it comes to climate, we have a confirmed down climate is 3 candles into the climate, 3 out of 6. That is certainly valid. The average is 1581. Okay, and 81 is more or less here. There is no UFO at that price. 81 is more or less here. There is no red UFO at that price. 81 is more or less here. There is no red UFO at that price. Okay, so gold has a setup based on climate, but we are missing the direct force, which is the AutoUFOs. So we're gonna have to wait for this to form, if that was to form. Okay, so quick look at the NASDAQ. Do we have anything? Not yet. So it seems that we are pushing nicely. But we haven't reached yet the 61 mark to do the next set of trailing stop. We are not there yet. Therefore, we're just gonna wait and be patient about it. It seems that we have more flashing lights on the red screen. So let's take a look. Euro contract was flashing. Oh, that one is hopeful. Okay, hopeful. So I mean, it's less probability because it's 5 out of 4, right? So the climate is already very extended, so not a good idea. So on the future side, that's it. The one that gave us an opportunity, at least for now, was the NASDAQ, and that's the one that we have here. And there is not much more to be done. Actually, we have something to be done. A new UFO just formed at 72.25, so we're gonna trail stop to be 72.5. Okay, so 72.5 is right there. Okay, right there. So if we were to be stopped out, we're going to lose $7.5. But given the fact that earlier we made 150 or something like that, so this trade is just getting more and more profitable as we keep acting on it. Okay, which is nice. Okay. So again, since we got that UFO form, we don't need to be doing now the too far too fast anymore, because we are going to lean against that UFO to protect ourselves. Okay, we did reach the 61 mark, as you can see here on the right. Okay, but really no need to do anything at this moment in time. Crude oil seems to potentially give us an opportunity. Okay, well, it seems that we are about to reach the final target here, guys. Okay, so very powerful move on this one. So let's see if we get there. In the meantime, we have the UFO protecting ourselves. But there is action going on out there. Crude oil is giving us an opportunity to go long, up climate, blue color, 1 candle out of 5. So certainly, let's go ahead and open the crude oil workspace. Okay, crude oil workspace. And we're going to see if there is an opportunity or not. Okay, and as I just said for gold, we're going to do the same thing with crude oil, which is to double check that we are using the right contract. Okay, here we go. Energies. So crude oil, okay, so it seems to be the edge. Okay, let's double check because it's not always the case. Yes, the edge is the one with the highest liquidity. Okay, you can see here the edge and here clearly the largest figures. Okay, so H is the one. So let's go back to crude oil and load at CL H20 and let everything load. In the meantime, quick look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ pushing very hard again, about to hit our final target. Okay, yeah, it's looking pretty powerful, and we have multiple UFOs to defend ourselves. The climate is not exhausted at all. Um, three candles out of 5. So it's certainly there is room for that push to reach our target. Okay, so we just do nothing. Okay, we just do nothing. We let the market do its thing, and follow the rules religiously. Okay, I'm gonna close gold, so we don't need it for now, and we're gonna focus now on crude oil. And what we have on crude oil is a new climate, okay, that developed, okay. So one dot, thick blue dot into the climate. So 1 out of 4. So beginning part of the climate, the average is 52.72, okay, and 72 maybe around there. I need to look at it precisely. 72 is above this, so here there is none, and here there is none either. So I'm not sure if the upper part of this UFO will be 72 or not. Okay, so I want to check what's the top. Okay, and the top of the UFO is 5270. Okay, so now moving averages, they are moving. Okay, as the name suggests. Okay, and therefore it is possible that as crude oil goes down, the average, which is currently 72, may become 70. Okay, and if it becomes 70, guess what? That UFO now would apply, would be a valid entry. Okay, but I'm going to suggest to not to execute this trade, and the reason why I'm going to suggest to not to execute this trade has to do with the depth of that UFO. It's a very fat UFO, and on top of that, if you look at those values, that means that it would be overlapping with that one and also that one. So really, that UFO goes all the way from 70 all the way to 43, which is all of that. Okay, so good news about this UFO or those three is that there are many micro pile of orders on top of each other that are very, very likely going to push all up. But at the same time, the downside about that is that the distance between entry and stop and entry and safety target is it's very far, because the distance between entry and stop is a lot. So then the distance between entry and safety target is also a lot, and therefore what happens is that your safety target does not act as safety, and you may need to spend like an hour in the trade just to find or meet the safety target in the end, and in the meantime, during that 1 hour, you could not execute any other trade. Okay, so I'd rather use UFOs that are narrower, so that would make my safety target to be closer, and therefore I remove the trade of the risk very quickly, like it happened with the NASDAQ earlier, and that would have allowed me to execute other trades in parallel instead of being stuck in a trade for such a long time just because the safety target is very far away. So that's the reason why. Okay, what do we have here with the NASDAQ? Back to the NASDAQ to comment on trade management. Well, a little bit of bad news here, guys. Okay, I mean, not really bad news, but we do have 2 green UFOs form. The climate is still down, so remember, in a down climate, the buy on field order will tend to be cancelled. So it is quite likely that the NASDAQ will do whatever, and then the orders will get filled, and then it keep going down. Okay, so it's not overly concerning, especially given the stats where we are dealing with 3 candles out of 5. So it's not like we got 10 candles out of 5. That obviously would be, I would suggest to get out, and that's it. Is that making sense? But at the same time, it is true that those UFOs, could be the beginning of a change of climate. Okay, and that's if that's the case, it will be a little bothering if you wish to see. Good news is that really you don't need at all to feel any sort of negative emotion about it, because what's the worst that can happen? That you leave this trade for a profit. So not a big deal. Okay, but at the same time, the human in us, the perfectionist in us, if you are like me, sometimes no matter how much trading experience you have, you would look at those UFOs as a little bit of a threat. And to be honest, it doesn't matter if it's a threat or not. What matters is that you follow your rules. That's what matters the most. Okay, so make sure you program your mindset in that particular manner, no matter the outcome of the trade. Okay, so the NASDAQ is flashing again, of course, because there is a retracement coming back towards the average. So the NASDAQ is flashing again as a potential opportunity, coming back to a good, potentially good shorting price, and we'll see what happens in the end. Good news is that those green UFOs got all the orders filled now, so they are gone from the screen. So now we do need a push to the downside. Unfortunately, there is no unfilled orders to sell left, so we are simply and basically relying on the climate, okay, which is certainly a powerful force, okay. But again, that's the only one left, okay, if you wish, okay. So we'll see what happens to this trade in the end, but follow the plan, don't deviate from the plan. Nothing else to say about crude oil, so I'm just gonna close it for now. And I believe that it would be a good time then to move into Forex trades, okay? Begin looking at Forex trades while we wait for other trade setups to form on the futures. 7 minutes from now, 6 minutes from now, the US market will open and we will have opportunities, okay? So with the majors, right now, nothing is golden. And when it comes to the minors, we got the pound Canadian dollar giving us an opportunity with the 240-minute time frame, okay? So let's go take a look at the pound Canadian dollar, okay? And I'm gonna do this here. This is trading view. Okay, so just opening the right workspaces for me to work on. So 240.41. I'm gonna be looking at the minors, pound Canadian dollar. That's the one I said, right? Pound Canadian dollar. Yes, the pound Canadian dollar is the one giving us an alert, which is near sensible with blue color, okay? We just got now the New Zealand dollar Canadian dollar as well, giving us an alert with also red color. And also now we just got the euro in a 4-hour time frame. Wait a minute, that one is hopeful, okay? So we're gonna ignore that one, okay? So pound Canadian dollar and New Zealand dollar CAD, okay? So anything to be done here with trade management with the NASDAQ? Nothing yet, okay? Nothing yet. So we just wait. Okay, we just wait. Okay, you can see the climate. Okay, all of this is because of the climate pushing in that direction. Okay, so that's an important force to keep into consideration. That's actually step one of the methodology, isn't it? Okay, so what do we have? Pound Canadian dollar. So 4-hour time frame, we got confirmed climate, 2 candles out of 5. Certainly a good time to get into a trade. The average price for the Canadian dollar is 172.16. Okay, 172.16 in the 21-minute time frame falls in here, which is in the middle of nowhere, to be honest. But what about the 21 range chart? Okay, the 21 range chart. Okay, for the ones of you that may have never seen those charts, those are volatility charts. They are not based on time. Okay, they are based on volatility. So 240 minutes, we said the average is 172.17. So 172.17, it's basically here. Okay, basically here. So between 20 and 16, we got 17. The current price is 39. So if the price of this currency falls from 39 to 17, we're talking about around 20 pips drop. Okay, and that would likely bring this currency either into the next UFO at 14 or something like that. Okay, and let me see. So 12, yeah. So the bottom part of this UFO 12 is still somewhere around here. Okay, this is 09, so somewhere around here, maybe 12. And the reason why I'm pointing at that is because notice how deep that UFO is. From 14 to 12 is a 2-pip UFO. Depending on the broker you use, the pound Canadian dollar being a minor, may have that spread as a bid a spread. In other words, we are dealing with a UFO which is way too narrow given what we need. Okay, so we're just gonna leave it alone for now. And go for the other one, which was the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. I want to check the time as well. We got 2 minutes to go for the market open. Okay. Oh, that's it. We just got to the final target. Okay, so we just reached the final target on the NASDAQ trade. Okay, NASDAQ trade. So I know that it was tricky to get in given how fast everything went, including a human error on my end, even though I was in a good position in the sense of having the climate and the UFOs and everything in my favor. So even though I positioned my stop initially in the wrong location, because my entry was precise, I didn't get stopped out and I went all the way to targets, which is nice. But unfortunately, because of that, not many of you could join me in the trade, which is, it's a shame given how pretty the experience could have been for you guys. Okay. But anyway, I think it's still a good one. Okay. You got the trade. Very good, Mark. Very good. Fantastic. Yes, Bojan. Happy dance. Love it. Very nice. Elen, Jose, can you explain again about moving the stop when reaching 89.61, please? Yes, that is what we call, if I bring the flow chart, okay, if you bring the flow chart, this is what we call the too far, too fast exit, which is optional, okay? The too far, too fast exit, which is optional, is an exit, okay? It's an exit where, basically when a market is moving too far, too fast, as the name suggests, then it basically, that market is moving into the non-sustainable territory. And, it's like throwing a ball at a very fast speed against the wall. What happens to the ball is going to bounce against you at the same speed. And so the problem there is, that you may find yourself in a situation where the market is moving your way very, very nicely. And then next thing you know, in no time, turns around and stop you out. Because again, you were in a totally unsustainable situation, and therefore you have a very violent profit taking or something like that, creating a very strong move in the opposite direction. So the rules in this case, okay, so I'm just gonna do some drawing here. If this blue line was to represent your entry, right, and this other line was to represent your stop, okay, and therefore the next blue line was to represent your safety target, okay. So we know the distance is the same, right? That's the safety target, okay? But then basically what you want to do, it's mentally, you want to project the same distance of the safety target going down multiple times, right? Multiple times. And so what happens now, so you see, this distance is the same as that one, and that one is the same as this one, and this one is the same as this one is the same as this one, and this one, and that one, right? So, putting on the side, maybe a little bit of lack of precision with my drawing, but you get my point, isn't it, Ellen? So what will happen here is that, the NASDAQ comes to the entry, and then let's say starts falling. And the moment it starts falling, if it starts falling without reaching the safety target, okay, I didn't mean that. If it starts falling without creating UFOs, and it's basically one of those very vertical moves, so yeah, good news, you hit safety target. So now this trade has no risk any longer, okay? So it's not like if you did nothing, it would be a problem, because the safety target is there to protect you. So you reach the safety target. If it was to bounce very violently and hit your stop, then it would be a break-even trade. So you cannot get hurt. So that's good. But at the same time, it's a shame to see the market move so far down, so far down, so far down, and all those profits made. If it was to turn against you violently, okay, you would basically give up everything and end up with break-even. So what we do in a situation like that, when that move down is happening with no UFOs in as the move is happening, what you would do is take the stop, and anytime you get to double the move where your safety target was, so now your stop goes here. And then if you go to triple, then your stop goes here. Now, if you go to 4 times the move of the safety target, then your stop goes here. If you go 5 times, then the stop goes there. That way, let's say your stop now is here, and now this turns violently and move all the way in the opposite direction. Guess what? You would have been stopped out here, and that would have allowed you to maximize the amount of profits you made. It's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be amazing, but it's going to certainly lock in some profits when you have one of those very fast moving moves. Okay, and by the way, look at what just happened. I mean, look at this move and look at the move in the opposite direction. Okay, took no time for all of this to happen. So this is exactly what I'm talking about, and that's why we have the rule too far, too fast. Is that making sense, Helen? Thank you so much. Okay, good. So anyway, let's go back to the climate here. Okay, so the NASDAQ is still flashing. Okay, so maybe we have an opportunity to re-enter the NASDAQ. Let's take a look. So the NASDAQ, what do we have? Okay, so we have a climate 4 out of 5 right now. So we are still on time. Average is 89.69. Okay, 89.69. Let's call it 70. Okay, let's call it 70 when it is currently 63. So if it goes up, it's going to be more like around the 70. And 70, it's basically the upper part of this UFO. So certainly, given the fact that 70 is basically surpassing the inner circle, which is where I expect the greatest quantity of orders to be there, I'm not keen to execute this trade relying on that UFO. So if I had other UFOs around 70 on the other time frames, then I would be happy. But entering short at 70 to have a stop just like a few ticks away, especially after you are clearly surpassing the meat of that UFO where the majority of on-field orders should be found, it's not making me happy enough to plan this trade. Okay, so therefore we will pass on this one for now, because anytime, what could happen anytime, I mean, it could happen in like 45 seconds, is that a UFO forms right here, right now, and next thing you know, now we have a trade. Okay, but we need to be watching for that because this hasn't happened yet. Okay, so NASDAQ with a flash here with the gold again. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at gold one more time. So gold, we'll come back to Forex as well. I'm being quite entertained with futures today. So so new climate developing on gold, blue dot, 1 out of 7. So that's nice. Okay, that could be the beginning of a very strong climate, but unfortunately we got no green UFO in any of the edge timeframes above. Therefore, we are not going to be able to do anything right now with gold. We'll be waiting. Good news, you can see price is going through the red UFO. Remember, in an up climate, sell on-field orders tend to be canceled. That's probably why that's happening. So it's a matter of time to get to see green UFOs on the chart, and then we may be able to plan. Here we go. Yeah. Anyway, so we are now able to plan a trade, isn't it? So because we got 82.4 is the entry, and then 82.5 is the UFO right here. Okay, so we really need to rush here, guys. Okay, so work with me on that. So I'm just gonna enable auto climate to find our target on gold. Looking for a red UFO on gold. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to load more data. This is gonna slow me down. Any one of you have been working on this trade already, and you know where the targets are? Because obviously gold has been moving up for a while now, and I need to load more data on my chart, which is going to take time. So I need to go back in time all the way to that is March 13. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to do it on time. Okay, I'm not going to be able to do it on time because price was already inside the UFO. Okay, so I'll do it so you guys see how it's done. Okay, but yeah, well, actually, yeah, the UFO disappeared. Price went lower. So this is one happy coincidence. Okay, but anyway, let's do it so we are prepared just in case. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna disable all the apps on this chart, and what I want to do is I want to load data all the way starting from March 2013. Okay, March 2013. So I'm just gonna leave gold alone there for a minute loading data. You can see PD on the upper left, okay? And then when it comes to turning on AutoUFOs, I'm gonna do it after I disconnect myself from the TradeStation network, so we don't have updates, because data all the way from 2013, you could imagine the huge amount of data that is being loaded is just huge, huge, huge. Okay, so what do we have with the NASDAQ? Yeah, so we have actually we do have a valid setup here, not any longer. The UFO went away. Yeah, so it may give the impression, at least based on the UFOs, we don't know it yet, okay, but we'll know in just a few minutes, okay, in 7 minutes from now, we will know what's going to happen to the climate on the Nasdaq, okay. But with so many green UFOs come up on the charts, probably we are now in front of a potential change of climate, okay, and price is now above the average, so we're going to leave the Nasdaq alone for a minute, okay. We'll wait until 9:45 Eastern time to decide what to do with it. Okay. In the meantime, we'll leave gold loading, and in the meantime, we will come back to look for trades, in the forex markets. Okay. US dollar, Swiss franc, 240-minute time frame. This is gonna be the next one. Oh, 240-minute time frame. Okay. So I'm just gonna move to majors, USD, Swiss franc. By the way, I remember last week we did plan a trade with the US dollar Swiss franc. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys executed that trade or not, but it was indeed a profitable trade. And if you did, it made me happy to know, and hopefully it was a good experience for you guys. Okay, so anyway, so what do we have? Climate with the Swiss franc, 2 candles into a confirmed down climate, out of what stats would suggest is going to be a duration of 6 candles. Okay, so we certainly have a valid setup. Average is 96.97. Okay, and 96.97 is right in the middle of that UFO. So guess what? We are meeting entry as we speak using that particular UFO. Okay, now 9702. Let me see where that's gonna be, because we may have a little bit of overlapping with those UFOs there on the left. We will see that in a minute. Okay, so let's plan on the target. Okay, so target for the US dollar Swiss franc, using the common time frame, we turn on auto UFO, and we can see here the target is the green UFO, is going to be 96.60, isn't it? So US dollar Swiss franc, the target is going to be 0.9661 would be the rounding to the 4 decimal place, right? And then we add 2, so it's going to be 63. Okay, 0.9663, that would be the particular final target for this trade. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, so what do we have? So what we have is the following. We have a potential opportunity for us to execute, made of setting a stop loss in a location that is still to be determined in a minute. Our short entry would be located at 0.96. I want to make it 92, okay, which is that particular UFO right there. Okay, so we're going to enter at 92. Even though the average is 97, it's fine because 97 is in the middle. Okay, so we are just going to enter at 92. What else? We have a safety target that we need to define, and we target, and we have a final target, which that one is already identified. A minute ago, I caught it in the 4-hour time frame, isn't it? Which was 0.9663. Okay, so let's complete the plan for the trade. Okay, the stop loss when looking at this value would be 97.03, isn't it? Okay, so 0.97026. You round to the 4 decimal place to be 3 because it's a buy stop. Then you add 2. That's 5. Then you add 5 for the cushion, and it's 10. But what happens if I do 10? Well, if I do 10, well, actually, I'm fine. Yeah, I did the math differently. I'm just gonna be prudent here, okay, guys? And take a look. Keep in mind 9710. Okay, keep in mind 0.9710 and take a look at this extreme UFO here. The extreme line in the UFO band is 970098. If you round up, is 10. So we got a little bit of overlap, okay, and therefore out of safety and out of proximity, I'm going to use the next one, 13.4. That's the value I'm going to use as a reference, and therefore 0.97134. That will be rounded up to 14 when I round my 4 decimal place. Then I add 2 for safety purposes, and then I add 5, okay, and that's going to be 21. Okay, guess what? 21 is inside that UFO. Okay, so yeah, so you know what, I'm gonna abort this plan because we are just building a very 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 wide UFO by grouping them together. Okay, and we should group them together because they do exist, but at the same time that's gonna make my safety target to be so far away that probably even beyond this price, so it's not gonna work. I'd rather spend the time of the session looking for opportunities of a higher quality. Okay, you guys have been very, very quiet. I know I've been moving a bit fast. Okay. Any question? How is it going? If it's going well, please let me know. All good. If you have any question, let me know as well. Okay. So gold just finished its loading. So what I'm gonna do? Here's the little trick. I'm gonna type dot off, and that gives me the option for offline. So I basically disconnected myself from the TradeStation network, and now I can enable AutoUFOs in the 15-minute time frame to find where the next red UFO is located at. Okay, and this is going to require some serious processing because it's a lot of data. But here is where the UFO is. Okay, and I'm doing this disconnected from the network. Okay, so GC gold, the UFO is 1587.3. 1587.3, so it's 5 handles higher more or less. So we'll be looking at the trade now, knowing the amount of candles available, the knowing where are the UFOs given the additional candles loaded on the chart. Okay, so I'm going back to my normal settings here, back to auto climate. Everything is back to normal, and I need to also reconnect. I'm gonna type ON for online. And you can see on the bottom, working online. This will force me to add my password, and this will reconnect me, so everything is back to normal. Okay, Mark, good job by finding that target. Very good job. You can see that's the beauty of the objectivity that we use in trading, isn't it? That even if a different person does the analysis, we come up with the same results. Okay, actually, it was not needed to look for the target in the end because we had a change of climate, and now we are in a down market instead of an up market. So yeah, anyway, the dynamics of the market's always changing, isn't it? Good. Okay, so what do we have? NASDAQ, unconfirmed climate, even though we have an alert, is unconfirmed. Japanese yen, unconfirmed climate, even though we have an alert. So we pass those two. And therefore we're going to be looking at sensible with the pound 60-minute time frame, sensible trade on the 60-minute time frame with the GBP US dollar. So let's take a look. So we have an opportunity to short the pound, 2 candles into climates of 5. Okay, the average it's located at 130.72, which is right there. Okay, and it's quite close to that UFO, but also the current price is quite close. So yeah, sure it is that if price goes there, the average will move up a little bit, but based on my experience, I would say probably is not going to line up with the UFO. Okay, so the EMA will probably not be overlapping. The EMA will probably not be enveloped by the UFO, and then we are not meeting our rules. Okay, and on the range time frame side, we are looking for 72 is the number we're looking for. So let's see what we've got. Yeah, again, look at these extremely narrow UFOs, less than a pip. Yeah, it's there, and certainly there is a micro packet, micro stack of orders, but we cannot use that to trade. It would not be reliable enough. Okay, so nothing to be done with the pound. What else do we have? US dollar Swiss franc is not confirmed. US dollar Swiss franc, we already checked. The pound on the 4-hour time frame is not confirmed. So then we're going to check now the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar that we said earlier in a 4-hour time frame climate. Okay, so let's go for it. Minus New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. Okay, it's loaded. So what do we have? We have a down climate, okay, which has been lasting for 4 candles, and stats suggest it's going to last for 2 more, 6. Average 96.59, sorry, 86.59, and well, actually, AutoUFOs were still loading when I froze the screen. Okay, so let me unfreeze the screen. Calculation timeout, a little error there on the calculation. This normally happens when you have delay on the market data. So I'm going to rerun it. Okay, and now it did show. So we said we are looking for averages at 59, and 59 is around 60. Okay, and yeah, we have nothing there. What about on the range time frame? The range time frame got 68. Okay, 68 and 54. Okay, so we don't have the setup that we need. Okay, so we need to wait. The good news though, well, actually not with this time frame. With this time frame, we still got 3 hours and 10 minutes to wait. Okay, so for a minute I was thinking was the 60, but I was wrong there. So yeah, so back to the list. What else do we have? So the pound Canadian dollar we checked, the New Zealand dollar Canadian dollar we checked, the pound New Zealand dollar, that one we didn't. So let's take a look at the pound Kiwi. So pound Kiwi, what do we have? We have an up climate lasting for 4 candles, where stats suggest it's going to be for 8. Certainly, nice one. Current value for the EMA right there, you can read it here, is 198.77. And certainly, I'm going to say that one is a good one. Okay. I'm going to say we do have a proper confluence, because 77 to 75.8, which is like 76, is only 1 pip down. I would say it's pretty sure thing that as this market goes down and that UFO is being hit, the EMA is going to be within the UFO. Of course, we have to watch it, and setting an alert, right click, add alert would be certainly a valid way to do it, to make sure that when you enter the trade, everything is good. But out of experience, I would say it's actually looking good. Okay, so now, do we have anything on the green side here? So we are looking 75. We got 71 to 69, and that goes all the way to 57, and that goes to 52, and then it goes to 49. Okay, so yeah, so we do have group UFOs here. Okay, we do have group UFOs, because if you think about it, the bottom part is 57. Okay, the bottom part is 57. 57. We're gonna add breathing room of -5. So 57 minus 5 is 52, and 52 is that one. So really we need to set the stop below 49. But if you think about 49 is basically lining up with 48.3, and therefore we're going to have to set the stop based on the bottom UFO. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is that, long story short, even though the UFOs seem to be a bit far apart, the white space here in between really is being filled by these 2 guys. Okay, and therefore we're gonna group those green UFOs like it's one large UFO for our trade. Okay, so okay, now that we know all of this, let's follow the process the way it should be, which is number 1, climate. We already said it. Okay, we're ready to go long. Number 2, target. Maximize the common time frame. Turn on AutoUFOs, looking for the red UFO. Where is the red UFO? Please show yourself to us. Wow, no red UFO. How come? Sometimes it's like that, obviously. I've just been silly there, typing daily. Day. Okay, there are UFOs out there all the way 2.15. Wow, this looks like a trade with a huge amount of possibilities for movement. Okay, yeah, and even in the weekly time frame, AutoUFO doesn't see anything until 277, which means that the on-field orders available above price are not of a high quality at all. Okay, in the lower time frames. Okay, so now the problem, and you've heard me say that before, that when we have a target which is very far out, on paper it makes us so happy, isn't it? But in the real world, what does it mean? It means that we are not so likely going to meet that target. Okay, so that's obviously not the way, not kind of like very, very hopeful by definition, right? So what can we do? Well, this is not something I normally do, but in cases like that, I would recommend you to explore other data providers. Okay, so with TradingView, I was using FXCM. Okay, and by the way, you can always see the data provider right here next to the time frame. Okay, so what I could do is look at other data providers to see if other data providers, for example, Oanda, you can see Oanda here. Let's see if Oanda got red UFOs above price. Okay, and it seems that there are none. What about GBPNZD? And now I'm going to use Forex.com. And with Forex.com, we do find something there at 20013. Okay, so look, instead of taking a trade in a very hopeful manner, shooting for a target which is very, very far out, I prefer to collect a reasonable profit, but collect that profit instead of having a very far target that look good in paper but miss my target. Okay, so we're gonna shoot for the pound New Zealand dollar. Okay, for the GBP New Zealand dollar, we're gonna shoot for a target of 2.0013. And I'm just gonna go back to my normal data provider, GBPNZD, GBPNZD. Okay, and I'm just gonna use my normal provider, which is FXCM. This is the one by default. Okay, so I'll just use that one, but I will now keep in mind my target to be 2.0013. Okay. Okay, so disable auto UFOs, restore down that chart. I don't need that chart anymore, and now I'm gonna work on my entries. Okay, so let's put the plan together in a written form on the screen. Okay, so the final target, okay, we just set it. I'm gonna start from top to bottom. Is gonna be 2.0013. Below, we're gonna have a safety target, which we need to calculate mathematically. Below that, we're gonna have a long entry, okay, which is going to be the value in green color right here, okay, 198.758. Okay, so 1.98758, and now I need to do some adjustments. First, adjust it to 4 decimal places, which is 6, and then add 2 because it's a buy order, so it's gonna be 8. Okay, and then I'm gonna also add a stop loss. Okay, I will 78, and then I will also add a stop loss, which is gonna be 1.9836.3. Okay, remember we said we're gonna use the bottom UFO. Okay, round it to, or adjust it to the 4 decimal place. Because it's a sell order, it's a sell stop. I'll round it down to 36, and then I need to add 5. 5, it's for the breathing room that we always give our stops, given the decentralized nature of Forex. So from 78 to 31, we are talking about, how much is that? That would be 47 pips. Am I correct? I think so. 47 pips. Okay. So we're going to have to add 47 pips to the entry to locate the proper place for the safety target. Okay. So how much is that? I said 47. So there's going to be 1.98. So 47, that will be so 22 So that's going to be 99.15. If I'm not mistaken, that would be the location for the safety target. Okay, so entry 98.78, stop 98.31, safety target 199.15, and then the final target. Now you are out of risk after when you get to 99.15, then the safety target, you are riding a much better move all the way to the end. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is to conclude the session, what I will do is I'm going to place the order on my MT4 platform. The other day it seemed to be useful to you guys to see that operation, so I'm going to do it again today, and that way you can just mimic it. Okay, I just need to plug my phone. Just give me 1 sec and I'll be ready to do it. So just 1 second, guys. I'm almost there. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little exercise here. Okay, bringing my phone. So here is my phone, and I'm going to use MT4 to place the order. Okay, so I got MT4 here, right? Now, the pound New Zealand dollar by default is not there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the plus sign on the top. And the moment I hit the plus sign, I will select from the drop-down menu FX Pro, and then I will find pound New Zealand dollar right there, and I will just tap on it. The moment I tap on it, when I go back, now the New Zealand dollar is there in the bottom part of the list. Then I can sort it and everything else, but I'll just leave it like that. Okay, so what are we gonna do in this trade? Okay, well we're gonna calculate the proper size and everything. So this is a trade to go long the pound New Zealand dollar, isn't it? We said we were going to buy at 198.78. That's going to be the entry. We said the stop was going to be 198.31. So we are risking 47 pips, okay? And the final target will be 2.0013. Okay, so we are shooting for 135 pips. That's like a little less than a 3-to-1. Okay, so let's say you want to risk $88 on the trade, then you would have a position size of 28,000 pounds, which is 28 microlots. I'm using $88 as a random number representing the risk of the trade, the amount of money I want to pay to see what happens next. Okay, of course, all of us, all of you, would have a different risk appetite, and therefore would have a different calculation. But let's say it's 88. Okay, so then you will want to go with half of that, which is 44, for safety target, and half of that, which is 44, for the final target. Okay, so basically we're gonna use 14 microlots for the trade. And remember, 14 microlots in the world of MT4 is 0.14. So back to my phone. Okay, so I got GBPNZD in the bottom part. I'm just gonna tap on it to place a new order. It's gonna be a buy limit. Okay, and then the first thing is to adjust the size to 0.14. Okay, we just said that. And then the entry 98.78. Okay, with a stop 98.31, with the safety target 99.15. Okay, and the moment I got that, I'm just gonna hit place, and the order is now in the system. Okay, and then I'm gonna do it again, go back to the quotes, tap on New Zealand dollar, on pound New Zealand dollar, new order, change it again to buy limit, leave the 0.14, retype 98.78 and 98.31, which is entry and stop. And now instead of typing the safety target, I will type the final target, which is 2.0013, and I will hit place. And therefore, I got my two orders in the system there with MT4, waiting to get filled. Okay. Cool. So let's look. at what's going on with the futures, and we'll call it a day. Euro contract, gold. So 81 for gold. Yeah, so look at that. So we just got an entry here, meeting this UFO. Careful in the sense that the ending part of that UFO is the same. So really, that UFO and that UFO overlap, and then you could still go ahead and plan the trade yourself since the UFO is still in place. Okay, and know that gold is offering an opportunity now. I will not plan it since the session is technically over. With another market is the euro contract. Okay, so I'll just load it quickly in case I have to give you any specific instruction before we call it a day. We'll load it very quickly here. So need to change the symbol. ECH20, that would be the symbol for the euro futures. And what do we have? So we're in a down climate, yes, but there are no red UFOs. Okay, so climate, everything looks good, but there are no red UFOs, so there is no trade to be executed on the euro futures. But for the gold, certainly you can go ahead and plan the trade, and then you can go ahead and share with me how did it go if you went ahead and you executed such trade. Okay. Bojan, you are in the gold trade already. You got feel very good. Very good. Wonderful. Nice to see, my friend. Always trading, always trading. Okay. I love it. That's the way to do it. Very good. Okay, everyone. Any final question, anyone? All good. I'm just gonna conclude the session. I'm just gonna wait a few seconds in case there is anything that you haven't got unanswered today. Thank you so much, Pansy. My pleasure. Good to see you, Pansy. Okay, so it seems that it's all good. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Osman. Everyone, you guys take care. See you tomorrow. And take care, Edward. Take care, Jay. Got it. I understand. Sometimes tech issues are like that. But anyway, take care, everybody. Bye bye.